Hello and welcome to this asynchronous talk. My name is Véronique Van Heelewijk. I work at the APC laboratory of the University of Paris, and I am presenting today the status of ChemTreeNet ORCA with first data and perspectives for neutrino oscillation measurements on behalf of the ChemTreeNet collaboration. ChemTreeNet is a distributed research infrastructure being built in the Mediterranean Sea as a network of Water-Cherenkov neutrino detectors with a twofold physics objective: to perform oscillations and astroparticle research with cosmics in the abyss. The ORCA detector on the left for neutrino oscillations physics is located about 40 kilometers off the French coast near Toulon, close to the Antares Neutrino Telescope, which has been running for almost 15 years now. The ARCA detector on the right is for astroparticle physics studies, and it is installed about 100 kilometers off the coast of Sicily. Both detectors are just being built and operated by one single collaboration, ChemTreeNet, and use the same technology. The basic element and technological breakthrough of the ORCA and ARCA detectors is the multi-PMT digital optical module, or DOM, each of them equipped with 31 3-inch photomultiplier tubes. The main advantages of this new design are its almost uniform angular coverage, the photon counting capabilities, and the intrinsic sensitivity on the arrival direction of photons, which are crucial for the reconstruction and identification of neutrino-induced signals. The enhanced performances of this new design have been demonstrated, for example, in the possibility to detect atmospheric muons with one single DOM, based on the time coincidences of signals on different PMTs, as you can see on the plot on the left. The DOMs are arranged along detection units, or DUs, which are vertical slender strings anchored to the seabed. Each DU supports 80 DOMs whose digitized data are transmitted to shore through optical fiber along an electro-optical cable that also serves to power the detector. The height of the DUs varies between 200 meters for ORCA and 700 meters for ARCA. Once assembled, the lines are furled onto a spherical structure called the launcher module, or LOM, which unfurls once it is deployed and connected on the seabed. Several LOMs can be deployed in the same sea campaign, and they are collected after reaching the sea surface to be reused in other deployments. The DUs are arranged in building blocks of 115 lines, each block comprising just more than 64,000 PMTs. ARCA will be composed of 2 building blocks with inter-DU spacing of 90 meters and inter-DOM spacing of 36 meters, for a total instrumented volume of about 1 kilometer cube, comparable to the IceCube detector at the South Pole. While ORCA, represented here to scale, will be only one building block, a denser detector with only 20 meter inter-DU distance and 9 meter between OMs, between DOMs, instrumenting about 7 megatons of seawater. The granularity of each detector will determine its range of sensitivity, and with both ORCA and ARCA together, ChemTreeNet spans about 9 decades in neutrino energies, allowing for a broad scientific program that covers neutrino astronomy at high and low energies, but also indirect dark matter searches, and last but not least, neutrino oscillation physics, which will be the main focus of this talk. For the astrophysics potential of ChemTreeNet, I address you to the talk of my colleague Sergio Navas in the astroparticle physics session. So now to go back to the current status of ORCA, already operational are the main cable to shore, one of the 2 main cables to shore, and the first node with 4 DUs connected and taking data since July 2019. So we have now consolidated the first dataset covering about 4.5 months with this ORCA4 configuration, whose analysis will be presented later in this talk. 2 more lines have been connected in January 2020, and we have now 1 more year of data with this ORCA6 configurations currently being analyzed. The second node has been deployed as well in October last year, bringing the current capacity for DU connection to about half of the complete detector. More DOMs and DUs are being built and assembled, and several sea operations are already planned for the year to come, including also the deployment of a specific calibration unit that includes an instrumented line dedicated to environmental monitoring. Moving now to the science case of ORCA, The main signal to be detected are atmospheric neutrinos in the range from a few to a few hundreds of GeVs. These neutrinos provide a kind of free beam of electron and muon neutrinos and antineutrinos with variable baseline and energy. This allows for a detailed study of neutrino oscillation parameters in the so-called atmospheric sector, with a strong sensitivity to θ23 and delta m squared 3.1, and also a more marginal dependence in θ13 and delta Cp. Therefore, the main goal of ORCA is actually the determination of the neutrino mass ordering by exploiting the distortions of the oscillation patterns caused by matter effects on neutrinos that traverse the Earth. The difference in oscillation probabilities is particularly important in the energy range between 3 and 10 GeV, as can be seen on the left bottom plot, which corresponds to the resonances associated with Earth mantle and core densities. And to achieve this mass ordering discrimination, it is of course important to develop performant algorithms for event reconstruction and flavor identification, and to keep the systematics under control. Neutrino events in ORCA are reconstructed and classified into two topological categories that are connected to the flavor of the incident neutrino and the type of interaction it has undergone. Track-like events are generated by muon neutrinos that interact via charge current. And in that case, the long-lived muon emits Cherenkov photons in a well-defined cone, typically producing a long trail of hits along its trajectory that can be easily identified, provided that the muon has sufficient energy to propagate far enough from the interaction vertex. On the contrary, shower-like events on the left correspond to all other types of interactions, charge current nu-e and nu-taus, and also neutral currents for all flavors. In those cases, there is no single lepton emerging from the event, and the Cherenkov emission from charged particles in the hadronic and or electromagnetic showers is almost isotropic. The classification of events into track-like or shower-like categories is currently being performed via machine learning algorithms based on random decision forests. And it is worth noting here that these algorithms are also capable of filtering out the atmospheric muons, which are the main physical background, at the percent level without the need of an instrumental veto. Now going to some projected results with the full ORCA detector. One early measurement will be the observation of tau appearance on the left of the slide, which is performed by measuring the normalization factor of the nu-tau contribution expected from the oscillation of nu-mus and nu-es, assuming standard cross-sections and 3 neutrino model. A measurement in tension with 1, either for CC events only or for CC plus NC events, would then indicate the presence of non-standard physics. ORCA will be able to exclude the non-appearance hypothesis with high significance already after a few months of operation. And this measurement is actually robust against the value of θ23 and the sign of delta m squared 3.1. So it does not require previous measurement of the neutrino mass ordering. After a few years operation, ORCA is also expected to provide a competitive measurement of the oscillation parameters of the atmospheric sector, as illustrated here on the right plot for the normal ordering hypothesis and the best fit θ23 in the second octant. Concerning the neutrino mass ordering, so the left plot shows the sensitivity of ORCA after 3 years operation with the full detector as a function of θ23 for different values of delta Cp and with the bands representing the Asimov 68% sensitivity. So the normal ordering scenario is clearly more favorable, especially if θ23 lies in the second octant. And globally, the sensitivity in that case would reach the 5 sigma level after 4 years, while in the inverted ordering scenario, a 3 sigma sensitivity could be achieved after 5 years of data taking with the full detector. And as can be seen on the left plot, this measurement will be relatively insensitive to the value of delta Cp. One way to further improve on these results is via the combination of ORCA with the Juno experiment, which will use reactor neutrinos to measure the neutrino mass ordering. It has been pointed out already that by combining atmospheric and reactor neutrino measurements, the combined sensitivity to neutrino mass ordering is enhanced, thanks to the tension that arises between the best fit values for delta m squared 3.1 when assuming the wrong ordering. This is indeed what we find for a combination of ORCA with Juno. with a 5 sigma discrimination achievable in less than 6 years in all hierarchy and octane scenarios, and even 5 sigma in 2 years in case of, in the most favorable case of normal ordering. When assessing the impact of systematics, we also realized that the treatment of energy scale systematic for ORCA, which is related to potential uncertainties in the light propagation and collection at the DOM level, is susceptible of having a strong impact on the result, as you can see from the right plot, where we compare a conservative and an optimistic assumption for this systematic. The optimistic assumption being similar to the one that was used by a study involving Juno and Pingu. ORCA can also perform searches for new physics, such as non-standard neutrino interactions and sterile neutrinos, that would manifest themselves as distortions of the oscillation pattern due to resonant transitions in both nu-E and nu-mu channels. Non-standard neutrino interactions on the left would modify the effective propagation Hamiltonian of the neutrinos, potentially introducing non-diagonal couplings between different flavors. And the strongest bounds on the epsilon mu tau coupling are currently set by the Antares Neutrino Telescope, and ORCA is expected to improve on them by at least a factor of 3 in 10 years. For sterile neutrinos on the right, the null results of Antares based on track-like events only have so far reinforced the existing tension with the positive hints observed by LSND and Mini-Boon as an excess of nu-E events. And because ORCA will be able to exploit both track and shower topologies at the same time, it is expected that it will reach world-leading sensitivity, in particular on U tau 4, sorry, and also to test the still largely unexplored region of the parameter space at very low delta m squared for 1. And for more detail and more plots about these studies, I encourage you to have a look at the beautiful poster of my colleague, João Coelho, also in the neutrino session. Another more exotic topic that can be addressed on the long term with ORCA is Earth tomography with GeV scale atmospheric neutrino oscillations. Because of the different coupling of nu-E to matter, the oscillations of neutrinos that traverse the Earth are actually sensitive to the electron density in the medium. And this density is proportional to the product of the matter density and the average ratio of atomic to mass number, which is directly related to the composition of the different Earth layers, with typical values ranging from 0.46 and something for the core to almost 0.5 for pyrrolite in the mantle. Geophysical methods provide strong constraints on the matter density profile of the Earth. And this means that by measuring with a sufficient accuracy the neutrino oscillation patterns, one can constrain the Z/A parameter and hence the composition of the innermost Earth layers. Of course, this is a second order measurement whose time scale is much longer than the neutrino mass ordering determination. But we could expect after 10 years to reach 1 sigma sensitivity of a few % on Z/A, both for the outer core and for the mantle, assuming true neutrino ordering, as shown on the right plot. Another possibility, which is currently much discussed, is to use ORCA as a far detector for a neutrino beam experiment. More specifically, the configuration that we are thinking of is to generate a new neutrino beam from the Prodvino accelerator facility in Russia to ORCA, hence the name P2O, with a baseline of about 2,600 kilometers. And this configuration, which is close to the magic baseline, would allow to study the first nu-mu nu-E oscillation maximum around 5 GeV, as represented on the right plot, where not only the mass ordering can be best separated, but also the value of delta CP can be disentangled more easily. And I address you to the letter of intent that was published in 2019 and supported both by CambridgeNet members and Russian physicists involved in the Prodvino project. Of particular interest is a new idea that has emerged recently to actually use a neutrino tagger that would allow to characterize the emitted neutrinos in the beam in terms of flavor, energy, and chirality, so that the neutrino flux and spectrum expected at the far detector would be known with very little systematic uncertainties. And because the ORCA detector is so big and the collected statistics is so large, it would allow for moderate beam intensity, which would in turn make it possible to instrument the beamline with silicon trackers, similar to the ones that are envisaged for the LHC high luminosity phase. And to learn more about this, I recommend that you check out the registered presentation by Mathieu Perrin-Terrin at the VLVNT 2021 conference. Now, let's go back to the present with some early results obtained with the current detector. So, as said before, ORCA4 has been taking data in stable mode since mid-2019, with an uptime fraction represented on the top left, which has steadily increased to reach 99% in 2021 with ORCA6. The trigger rate on the bottom left is also rather stable and resilient against background fluctuations, and the transition from ORCA4 to ORCA6 is clearly visible. The full data sample of ORCA4 covers about 133 days and is dominated by atmospheric muons. But the careful event selection procedure allows to efficiently filter out the pure noise events and the misreconstructed muons, which constitute the main background for neutrino analysis in the upgoing region. And the final sample of selected neutrinos shows good agreement with Monte Carlo predictions. To perform this analysis, actually all recorded events are reconstructed using the TRACK algorithm, and the final sample is obtained by imposing selection cuts on the directionality of the reconstructed track, which must be upgoing, on the quality parameter of the reconstruction, and also on the containment of the reconstructed interaction vertex, which should not be located too far outside of the detector footprint, as shown on the left part of the plot. And this last cut actually allows to get rid of most of the spurious misreconstructed atmospheric muons, as you can see on the histogram. So the final sample, which represents about 3 neutrinos per day, is dominated by new mu-CC events, with also some contribution of new ECC and a small amount of new tau-CC and neutral currents of all flavors. So from this ORCA4 data sample, we have extracted a preliminary measurement of neutrino oscillations by comparing to a Monte Carlo generated with the Honda atmospheric flux and oscillation parameters from NUFIT 4.0 and leaving the flux normalization free. So the distribution of data as a function of L over E is shown in the plot, where the bins have been adjusted for similar statistical uncertainties. And we find that the oscillation hypothesis is favored at 2.5 sigma. So this is already a promising result, considering that we have only used track-like events and that both the energy and angular resolutions are strongly limited by the small size and anisotropy of the detector. So we expect this result to be soon superseded by the analysis of the dataset in the ORCA6 configuration. So we have indeed already accumulated 10 times more neutrinos with ORCA6, and the data sample is being consolidated and analyzed right now. And you can see here a small movie, an example of an upgoing neutrino event as recorded in the ORCA6 detector. The detector construction is also proceeding despite of COVID and even ramping up as several new interrogation sites are becoming operational, so that we expect about 30 DUs to be ready by early 2022. So stay tuned for more physics results in the upcoming future, and do not hesitate to join in the effort, as the road to completion is still long and new collaborators are always welcome. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you at the Neutrino Panel #1 next Tuesday morning, or maybe afternoon, or maybe evening, depending on your time zone. Bye-bye.